Next.
Mr. McMillan?
Yes.
Could I ask that we, since Mr. Hay is waiting for us to cover the workforce,
Yep.
we could training program grant if we do that, and then...
I think he should stay till the end.
I thought he enjoyed this. Yes, please. So we'll move on to item I, which is to review and possibly approve the high school pupil workforce training grant application.
All right. This is one that sort of has come to us fast and furious, but it's an idea that's been on the table for some time, with an opportunity that we will kind of want to be able to strike while the iron is hot, so to say. So the Wisconsin Fast Forward Blueprint for Prosperity is a program that the governor launched more than a year ago, and it was initially targeted at businesses across the state to jumpstart programs where the business would commit to working with, say, a technical college to create a training program and commit to hiring people at the end of that training program. This year, at the end of last month, I think it was March 30th, the announcement came out. The state is taking some of the funds designated for this program and expanding it to high school students with a very fast turnaround. So March 30th was the grant announcement, and the application was due April 21st, which is earlier this week. So we've submitted that pending your approval, and we're hopeful that we'll get that tonight. So if you turn or flip or scroll in your copy of it to page 9, which is not labeled, but it's the page after 8, which is labeled. This is where you get kind of the meat and potatoes. What are we attempting to do? So what we're looking to do is to bring a CNA program into Tomah High School. And currently, you're aware we have students every year that go and study for their CNA at WTC through our Youth Options program. So we take revenue and we send it off to pay for their tuition. And what we'd like to do is ramp up our capacity to be able to offer that to even more students through a real program in the high school, offered in conjunction with our local partners. So we held a meeting on April 9th with a variety of partners, and we've since gotten commitment letters that you have in front of you from Tomah Memorial Hospital, Cranberry Court, Tomah Care and Rehab Center, the Workforce Development Board, A Touch of Home, and Western Technical College, all of whom have agreed to work with us as partners, either to help us provide the education, to help us find a teacher that can offer the CNA course, and that has to be a nurse who also becomes certified by DPI. So there's a variety of aspects to this, but I guess one of the primary pieces is beyond getting off the ground and being able to offer CNA in-house so that we can increase capacity from around 10 or 12 that we do now to 24, 48, and move exponentially. We see this as the starting point to a pathway for people who want to go into medical careers. That if we can get a nurse on staff that works for the district that can offer a CNA course, we can start to create a pathway to sort of put together these disparate pieces. We've got a great anatomy and physiology class. We've got AP biology that was added 2 years ago. We've got some cool things that are great pieces, and if we can put those pieces together in a structured manner, we can really create almost a career academy feel for students who are interested in careers, whether that's CNA, nurse, doctor, biologist that might study the Human Genome Project, something like that, where we really start to put those pieces together. So we talked about that vision with our partners. They're committed to that vision. The grant application that we've put in front of you is to ask for $150,000 from the state through the Fast Forward to get this thing launched, to get us through year one of providing the resources, providing the staff. We think there are some ways that we could sustain that staff member moving forward. One of those is there somewhere within the horizon of the next few years. We expect that our current district nurse may retire. And that provides an opportunity to shift that position to be able to provide some leadership and some instruction in this capacity. Until that time, we have the ability to contract part-time with some of our partners to get one of their employees to work for us on a part-time basis to become certified to provide this type of instruction. So we think it's something that if we can get the seed money, so to say, that there's a way that we can transition this program to be a sustainable, living, breathing piece of Toma High School's infrastructure.
And it's just interesting because when the grant came available, I contacted Dave and Robert right away and said, is this something that we could be utilizing with the ACE Academy? And so we did call Laura Cataldo, and we have a second piece where we're engaged with CISA 6, and they're looking at, they're going to be the grant. They wrote the grant, and we're just a partner in that. And All American Lumber has agreed to be a part of that, but our students will be getting OSHA 10 training, and so we're going to be building that in there. But as we talked through it, after we got off the phone with Laura, Robert said, we've got this need. We're using Youth Options, sending kids out to WTC every year. We pay for that. We can save those expenses by offering the program right in-house. We've got an opportunity here. And that afternoon, I sent out an email to the partners that are listed here, got an immediate response from everybody. The meeting was set up 2 days later, and boom, we were on the path of getting this approved. There's a dire need for individuals to go into the medical profession, and every one of the partners said, boy, we need to find ways to get kids interested in this, and that CNN program is kind of the entry-level position, and many of their employees who start out there continue their educational path in the medical field. So it just was a really wonderful experience. To
see that much energy come together that fast, and people that there wasn't a hesitation at the meeting. People were, what do you need? Absolutely, we're there. And that's page 13 of the grant application gets to kind of, these people have gone all in already and committed that they expect to, Toma Memorial, recruit 4 people and hire at least 3. That's after 1 year. This isn't like they're saying 10 years from now we're going to hire some of your folks. This is a year from now. And then to listen to, as you look through some of the commitment letters, some of the stats that they've provided to strengthen our application about, at TMH, for example, they said 50% of their CNA workers advance to a higher level at some point in their career. So they don't just stay as a CNA, which is a great field to be in, period, but 50% move on to something else. Again, nurse,
physical therapy
any
is another
number
one.
of
I know
career
some
fields.
students that they needed that on their resume.
Anesthesiology,
Any of those medical.
Dave, what about that application date? It said the 21st.
Well, we submitted it to them with a note that says this is pending board approval.
Oh, okay.
So we met the deadline.
Oh, that's right.
But for it to be official, we need you to approve.
Not a problem.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'll say this is just one of those things that just is fantastic. We talk about making school more relevant, providing opportunities for them to become career ready without extra expense, and making them go to other places. It just sounds great, 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 great. There is that small but, which is, and you address the sustainability. And after you've been on the board for a while, you realize that grants have another side to them, and that's that they end at some point. And you did address that. I appreciate that. And so we just, I guess there is some confidence that there is a plan to make this sustainable. I'm also wondering if we're already paying for youth options, will that offset part of what would cost?
Certainly.
It seems intuitively seems like there'd be an offset right there, but I don't know financially.
It's not a huge pot of money that goes to youth options.
Okay.
So it's not like an offset for a full-time employee.
Yeah.
But certainly, we with the partners around the table, there was probably 3 different options put on the table, where we can contract to have an instructor from WTC work for us. We can get one of our instructors certified by WTC and do it through a transcripted agreement. And there's also models. Mr. Joyce, who's been he's the driving force behind what you have in front of you. He's home with his family right now. But that's his wife taught in a program similar to this in Florida where they lived prior, and she is a nurse out at the VA, again one of the partners that's agreed to work with us on this project. So there's a lot of resources within the community that I think will be brought to bear to make this sustainable.
You know, I think, again, this is one of those things we look at as a priority, that, you know, we have to assess this. Is this something that we need in our school district and our community? And obviously our community sees the need to. You know, it's one of those priorities that we have to be able to look at and somehow find our funds and find a way to make it happen. But it's good to know that we absolutely have to look at the sustainability, as you said. I mean, it has to be out front.
I don't think there's another community the size of Toma that has as many medical facilities and providers. I mean, just to have the wealth of resources that we do have is fantastic, and then that creates a tremendous need, and I think it's one of the things we need to begin to respond to in a more meaningful way.
Definitely. The statistics are kind of shocking. I didn't realize how few bachelor degree people there are in this county of Monroe. It's amazing. So.
And Mr. McMullen, that thought went through my head when this crossed my desk. Right? And I said to myself, do you ignore an opportunity that, you know, we may not get this grant?
Yeah.
And I suppose even if we were to get it, we could bring it back to you and say, okay, now that we've got it, are you still committed to us moving forward? But I just struggle with when you know there's a need and you know that this is an opportunity to get things moving. You just can't let some of those things pass by. I mean, the money is there, and with the short term, I figure there's a lot of districts that will not.
When I think what's unique here, and it's demonstrated in the large amounts of the grants that we have received, is that our grants are focused on actual quantifiable need. It's something that we need to focus on whether we get a grant or not. And the agencies then that we partner with to get those grants, whether we're talking DOD or otherwise, understand that. And it's different than other districts that might be submitting something to get money to do something that's a flash in the pan, kind of a nice, fun thing to do, but may not address an actual legitimate need that's quantifiable. And I think this, again, hits at one of those legitimate, quantifiable, long-term needs for the community.
I completely agree. So remind me, we do have a motion and a second on the table. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Who made the second? Pam made it.
Jan? Taking credit for the second? Okay. Standing up for the second. Jan Sherwood. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. The motion carries, and so the application for that grant is approved. That's exciting. Thank you for jumping on it on the short time frame.
And I want to concur with Mr. Hay. Mr. Joyce did a lot of work on this, and I know he was emailing us over Easter break, you know, trying to get all the pieces.
Final draft ready to submit on Monday.
Yeah, so, you know, there wasn't much vacation for him.
Okay.
Right?
I'm glad he's home with his family right now.
Indeed. Thank you.
All right, thank you.